Welcome back, everybody. It's another Nights at Fright. Today we are talking Coraline. There might be some spoilers. Probably will be some spoilers. You're warned. So let's get right into it. Eric, your thoughts about this movie?
This is a great movie. This is one of the best animated movies of all time, and I think you could thank me how we know about it. Why don't you tell them?
A little background about this movie. We're at the store. This is like 8-9 years ago, and Eric typically, as a child, he never threw many fits, but when he saw this movie, he just had to have it. I had no idea what it was about, no idea why he felt the need that he had to have it. And since he always was pretty good, we decided to get it. And let me tell you, we have not regretted it ever since.
Yes, this movie is great. When I was a kid, I loved it. And now when I'm older, just rewatching it a couple days ago, I like it even better because I get the more themes about this film. And when we think about it, this film is actually really dark.
It's really, really dark, actually. And I've always enjoyed it for that because there's stuff to keep the kids entertained, but there's also other storylines and plots and themes that engage adults as well. And that's what I really like about it.
Yes, that, and when I was younger, that's really the kids' entertaining part is really what got me, but now it's really both what gets me about this film. And yeah, the moral theme about this film is, you should respect what your parents give you, because bad stuff might happen, and you make sure you don't get kidnapped by this creature called the Bell Down.
At the same time, as a parent, I understand that it's more about Coraline understanding that lesson, but her parents could have done a better job of communicating with her and really letting her know how they had this pressing deadline about the catalog they were writing and how they really needed to turn everything in because it's important, to food, rent, and all that other stuff. And I felt that they were just brushing her aside and wanted her to keep quiet. You got to understand, kids are going to be kids, they're going to get bored. And I felt that the parents could have done a better job with that, at least coming from a parent perspective.
Yes, you know what, when you bring that up, that is kind of a thing. When watching this film again, I don't know what YB's point of this film was, really.
Well, his point of the story was to introduce the what's the name of the creature?
The Bell Down. Well, that's what it says from the film.
The Bell Down, and how his family was affected by all of this, and why his grandma insisted on only renting out the apartment or house to families without children. And when he found out that this family had children, was like a big surprise. And it's kind of strange how that slipped through the cracks and stuff like that. It's just, I guess, part of the story and why it needed to happen in order for us to have the story.
And yeah, so
anything you want to talk about?
All right, something else that I want to talk about is that this is my new animation studio called Leica at the time. And yeah, I think what the studio does, they make other great animated films, and what the studio really does is that stop motion was a thing back then, and it could still be a thing back now because it's not really seen around anymore. And the stop motion and animation in this movie, it's really good, and I think they really did a good job and took their time with this film. And isn't this film based off a book?
It is based on a book by an author of, his name is Neil Gaiman. I have not read the book. I've been wanting to read it for a couple of years now, and maybe I'll get to it now, but I think it's a pretty good adaptation. I don't know. Well, it's hard for me to say it's a good adaptation because I haven't read the book.
Yeah.
But I really like the movie. It's still to be seen if I like the book. I have read a lot of his other books and stuff. Actually, Eric just read one of his books over the summer.
Yeah, it was a summer assignment called Neverwhere, and I really enjoyed that book. And since rewatching Coraline, I think I might read the book.
And like from reading Neverwhere, you can see it has like the same type of elements as the movie, like that creepiness where you're not really sure where it's gonna come from, but it's always kind of present. So it has that touch of Neil Gaiman in there, even though I don't think he had anything to do with the screenplay or anything like that.
Yeah.
The other thing I wanted to mention, once Coraline goes into this alternate dimension, alternate world where she's with the Bell Down and the fake everything else, that the Bell Down really created everything that she wanted, but it's like hyperlized, stylized or whatever, and it's all like you take all the neighbors and stuff and you make them. It's hard to explain what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is like all the neighbors and all the aspects of this new world is everything that she saw that was broken in the other one, and it was sort of like shone a little brighter, and it's what really attracted her to the world and stuff like that. And like Eric said, she got what she wanted, but sometimes a little too much of something is bad for you. You eat too much candy, you're gonna feel sick, and that's exactly what happened to Coraline. And it was just a way to entrap her and keep her in this world. I guess you can call it an evil world or whatever. And also going back to the aspect of this movie being really dark, and Eric wondering about YB. And YB, when you see him in the real world, he's so happy-go-lucky, always willing to talk to somebody and stuff like that. And when you see him in the alternate world, he can't even speak, and he has his face sewn into a frown or a smile and stuff like that. And that's incredibly creepy and dark, especially for something that's supposed to be for children, I guess.
And I get why he's silent. In the movie, the Belldown said it made him to be silent because she thought Coraline would enjoy it. But I think the true reason is because if he has been there longer, I mean as long as the Belldown, then he would probably tell Coraline about how she trapped kids and how this is all a trap, but he can't talk and can't really do anything about it.
And communicate with her and stuff like that. So as you guys can tell, we can talk about this movie forever, on and on and on. But I think we're going to cut down the review right there. So stick around. We got more videos coming. More Nights of Frights coming. We got a couple more. We're going to talk about our favorite Halloween movies because it is the season to be scary. For now, this is GBE saying bye-bye.
And respect your parents.
And your kids.